Fair use. Fair use.
Prove that they were Israelites through the DNA, and they went quiet on it. You know, what a DNA test to show that your bloodline goes back to the Israelites of the Bible. Why y'all so quiet? I hadn't heard nothing. But because y'all was blowing my little video up, telling me I'm stupid and dumb. But when I start asking about the DNA test, y'all done got mighty quiet on your boy. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that you're not a bloodline Israelite. All I asked was, let me see the DNA test. That's all. Genetic testing, let me see something. Because you're hiding. Come on back outside. Come on back outside and play.
All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the hopefully elect. This video is going to be a response to Israelites. Where's your DNA test? Prove your bloodline. And every now and again, we'll get this dumb request from some foolish mortals. Sometimes the white man will say it. Sometimes coon dumb niggas will say it. Niggas will say it. You know, trying to issue a trump card or I got you moment. Which really, he's just an unbeliever. Like, why do we need to give you DNA proof that we're the Israelites? Like, what's that gonna do? Excuse me. Barakatah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And people like to do this because they know that we can't give them that. They know we can't give them DNA proof of being the Israelites. I mean, even if we could, the so-called white man who has held back who we were, he would hide it. He would hide the proof if we had proof like that.
Shalom. First and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elder and apostles, the great millstone, who rule well, teaching this truth on the highways and hedges, bringing out this truth in sincerity, risking their life and freedom to do so. I'm the brother Tassad Ban Yahweh, coming at you with a quick one, a quick land back to prove the elder's point. This man right here, his name is Sir Alec John Jeffries. He's a British geneticist known for developing techniques for genetic fingerprinting and DNA profiling, which are now used worldwide in forensic science to assist police detective work and to resolve paternity and immigration issues. All right, so you see this man right here? This is an Edomite, you know, for all intents and purposes. And the Edomites are the so-called white T-man, you know. So with that being said, you know, DNA has not been proven 100% accurate, you know, as the elder states in his video. And so what I did was I went to chat and I asked chat to uncover whether or not any historical or archaeological evidence for DNA has been found for any of the Israelites. And this is what it had to say. So it says, at this point, yes, some Iron Age samples from the southern Levant and from tombs interpreted as Israelite, Judite, have been processed for aDNA, which is ancient DNA, but no large-scale, fully published, genome-wide data set specifically from multiple clearly identified Kingdom of Judah, Kingdom of Israel archaeological contexts seems to be publicly available yet. Just and that reflects the elder's point, to where Esau, you know, this Jeffries character and men like him are not going to actually uncover the actual DNA and publish it. There's no pure wide reviews of this archaeological DNA evidence in the first place. Why? Because they seek to hide what they're doing. These Edomites seek to hide the true Israelites. Okay, they could dig up everybody else, the Egyptians, and say, "Oh yeah, we got DNA." These are from, matter of fact, hold on, let me show y'all. I need to provide receipts, y'all. This is crazy. It's the spirit that earlier today, because I saw Elder's video earlier this afternoon, and then I slept because it's the Shabbat. You know, I got me some rest, whatever. Called like Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. They go a shooting star. All praise to the Heavenly Father. You know, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. All right, so I got this notification on my phone, y'all. It said ancient Egyptian queen ties curly hair 3,359 years later. You see this? So this is from the 18th dynasty, You know, they digging up these people's tomb, which is demonic, disturbing the dead. You know what I'm saying? So this is supposedly the wife of Amenhotep III, mother of Akhenaten, right? And so I'm gonna show y'all what she looked like. They call her the Iron Lady of ancient Egypt, as you seen in the quotes right there. And it says her mummified remains were discovered in 1908 in the tomb of Amenhotep II, initially known as the Elder Lady. Salakia, in 2010, DNA analysis, see that? DNA analysis confirmed that the mummy was in, I almost said dummy. Salakia. It said the DNA analysis confirmed the mummy was indeed Queen Ty. Right? So, boom. This is it right here. This is what they got. You see that? So you have people in the comments talking about, oh, she has straight hair. You know, of course, the Edomites go like, oh, she white. You know what I'm saying? Look, check it out. What an intriguing woman. Somebody says Maybelline. You know, it's a little joke about that. It says her hair is curly like modern Ethiopian people, right? So you know the Ethiopian people. You know, we know who they are, right? Like, we know that they go back to the Ishmaelites. And then they probably a mix of Kushite and Ethiopian, right? It says Ethiopia was never colonized, which is a damn lie. It says this is wavy African hair, not Caucasian. So if you look at the texture of the hair, it's curly. But, you know, I think these people, besides mummification innovations, because, you know, like today, Americans, they do what? They embalm the bodies, right? That custom and techniques come from ancient Egypt, and probably they probably didn't even originate that, to be honest with you, man. Like, you know, I should say hypothetically, right? All right, I don't want to get too heavy on the solids on that right there, right? So you see the hair, you see her, and then somebody in the past did a recreation of Queen Ty, and this is what they came up with. And then somebody said that she was the daughter. Somebody said that she's the daughter of Joseph. You know, so that's a subject of speculation. So if you look at it, you know, she's a pretty woman. You know, somebody was like, oh, because of her thin chin, she was a white woman. You know, a Edomite woman. You know what I'm saying? So you see the recreation of her, and you see this is an actual bust of her on the right. So yeah, you see this woman on the left. She, you know, a pretty woman. She could have been a Jake woman, man. And you know, what does Jake women do today? They have wigs and weaves and hair pieces. Somebody joked about it too. They was like, oh, that lace front glue was fire. Like, you know, if they can only have some lace front glue to hold up over 3,500 years, you know how Jake be joking, man. But yeah, you see that, you know, and for these people to get on here, somebody named Devil's Advocate said some nonsense. Of course they would, right? Devil's Advocate. Let me find that comment. Let me see. This one right here, Local Mana, Crazy Mana, right? It says, but Netflix and the BBC told us they were black African. Is physical evidence lying to me or them? All right, so you got to ask yourself that question. You look at all this archaeological evidence, you look at the hieroglyphs, they even depict the actual biblical Israelites on the hieroglyphs, and they was brown-skinned peoples. You know, you couldn't tell. It was only slight differences between the phenotype or look of the ancient Israelites in the Egyptians, man. You know, you see, you could, but you can clearly tell a Hamite from an Israelite. It's clear. You see that? But here you go. It says, well, you can definitely tell she wasn't black, destroying the narrative that Egyptians were black. I don't know if this person is being facetious or what, but hey, you know, that's anyone's guess. But as y'all seen in the chat, y'all seen in the chat, now it says that they don't have no evidence on the DNA. So that brother, let me show you again. That brother right there is he's a naysayer. He's a doubter. You know what I'm saying? But he turns around and says, he's speaking on two sides of his mouth, right? He's saying on one level that, okay, I'm not saying that y'all not the bloodline Israelites, but provide DNA proof. And I just showed you, you know, the so-called YT man, the Edomites, they control the DNA process, and which is not even accurate like that. You know, That's the problem with some of you niggas, man. Like y'all will look at and take what the white so-called white T-man says as law. You look at him as God. You know what I'm saying? And you seek his soothsayers, his sorcerers, and his witches and warlocks over the word of your own people that have been bringing you the truth, and you refuse to believe, man. You know. Let me get some scriptures, man, because the elder he covered it beautifully, but just for the sake of me, you know, kind of doing my side of the lifting, I want to bring out some precepts, man, to prove this nigga wrong right here, and more than that, to edify the sheep, man. All right, Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. All right, so if you're not a prophet, you know, of course the secrets it's not gonna jive with you, you know, because like I say, you lack faith, you know, and you double-minded, man. What does it say in the book of James? A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So, but basically that brother is doing what he's doing for purposes of clout chasing. And he, you know, he's like the elder said, he's acting like he got one up on the Israelites or something, as if he's doing something. He's one of these clout chasing Negroes with no solid foundation to stand on because you unstable in all your ways. And what did Yahweh Shai say about those of you who seek a sign? He called you a wicked and perverse generation, man. Self-correction, Salakia. He said, this is what Yahweh Shai said. This is Matthew 16. I got to correct it because I want to bring the receipt out. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left them and departed. Right? So, yeah, this is a wicked and adulterous generation, man, that seeketh after a sign. You know, show me these miracles, show me this and that. You know damn well, you know, that the poor of Yahweh's people don't have control over DNA functions like that. Now, of course, niggas could go out and get a microscope, you know, and start studying chemistry and whatnot, you know. But as far as being able to do archaeological digs, that takes resources, and those resources are being blocked, man. You know, we don't make no excuses, but we're not over there in the Levant. We're not over there in Palestine. We're not over there in the actual house of our lineage, because the devil has covered those things up, right? And he's made it all but impossible for some brothers to get passports. Now, if you ask me, I got a passion to do something like that, but this wicked ass system won't allow somebody like me to go over there right now. You know, that's personal, but yeah, that's kind of beside the point. But you know, Jake, they don't got resources and access like that. You don't knock it off. And just like the elder said, once again, you know, they seek to hide everything. So even if they do publish a data set, it won't be complete. It won't be comprehensive. Why? Because they seek to hide your identity from who you are. You know, these people have colonized this place and covered up the history, right? And it says in Psalms 83, you know, exactly who did the covering up, all right? Verse 3 says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. When I hear that word confederate, immediately I think about the southern slavery mission that they had going. Okay, it says the tabernacles of Edom, right, and the Ishmaelites. Now the Ishmaelites, and it says of Moab and the Hagarenes. All right, so the tabernacles of Edom is basically who we looking at primarily, because he's the main culprit. All right, behind the cover-ups, you know, the funding mechanism, the three-city empire. They control most of the world's resources through conquest and empirical duty. Okay. Job 9:24, what that say? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay, so being that the earth is in the hand of the wicked, that means control. If you go into that word hand, it goes into control, right, of the wicked, right? He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. That's where you got iconoclasm, all right? Let me show you. Ain't nobody reaching. Don't have to. The receipts are here if you can accept it, but you niggas can't accept it because you refuse to accept it. You're dumb and blind. You'll accept his word though, won't you?
Iconoclasm. Iconoclasm.
The action of attacking or assertively rejecting cherished beliefs and institutions or established values and practices. Number 2 definition, the rejection or destruction of religious images as heretical, the doctrine of iconoclasts. And you see great evidence of iconoclasm happening during what they call the Renaissance era. The Renaissance era means rebirth. All right. So, yeah, that's a massive cover up that happened. So they took ancient relics. Well, matter of fact, why do you think they was blowing the noses off of sphinxes and stuff like that? Because they wanted to erase any evidence of melanated kingdoms and rulership on the earth. Okay, this is why you got what they call indoctrination that took place in the Americas. All right, this is why you had Spain come over here and do what they did to our people, setting up these missions. We're part of that 3-city empire. But that's a subject for another lesson. But what I'm here to tell you is this, is that, you know, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. Okay? But these things are being uncovered, right? And the blueprint has been left, the instruction, the roadmap has been left to the prophets of the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's been bringing out this truth, but again, you refuse to accept it because your heart is hard. You know, and you're stiff-necked, sottish, foolish people. That's why you can't accept the truth, and you won't. You know, and because you are partaking with the mind of the enemy, you drunk off the enemy's ideology. You know, you're gonna be destroyed right along with them. All right, unless you repent, change your ways, change your heart, stop being so damn stiff-necked. You know. Because, hold on. Psalm 147 verse 5 is where I began. Great is Yahweh and of great power. His understanding is infinite. Yahweh lifted up the meek. He casteth the wicked down to the ground. All right. So who are the meek? The lowly, the humble, the contrite of heart. Those people who fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? Because the scriptures say what? The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge and wisdom. You cannot have knowledge and wisdom unless you fear Yahweh, right? And if you fear Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, then you fear his men that he set up in these days, according to his heart, all right? But you won't listen, all right? So if you want to be a part of that wicked lot, you know, they're going to be casted down to the ground, as I previously stated. But hey, you know, the choice is yours. You got a choice, Jake. You know? Don't be no dummy, man. All right, so with that being said, I want to give another salutation to the hopefully elect, you know, and to the next one, Shalom.